So let's start this first episode of 2026 with a shout out to every woman who puts everyone else first. You show up, you care deeply, and you carry a lot, often without complaint. And why there is nothing wrong with being generous with your time and being selfless as well, there is a hidden cost when your own needs are consistently ignored. It's the not so cool part when you overlook one thing that could completely change how you show up for the people you care about and for the work you do. And what is that one thing? Your energy. Energy is the foundation of everything. Your focus, your patience, your creativity, and your capacity to care. Without it, even the things you love begin to feel heavy. So let's step into this new year doing something different. Let's make energy management the most important productivity strategy that you will employ in 2026. Not doing more, not pushing harder, but learning how to protect, to restore, and to use your energy. Now, clip a seat and let's discuss what this looks like for you in 2026. Welcome to the Minute Mastery Podcast, a conversational productivity and time management podcast where busy authors and entrepreneurs are inspired to create time for what truly matters. I'm your host, Ngozi Edema. I'm a time management coach, writer, and entrepreneur. Here, you are encouraged to turn your minutes into milestones and to create at least 1 hour a day working on your goals without feeling overwhelmed. And since you are here, I thought I'd let you know of a storybook to gift your favorite kids. Once upon a time, and they lived happily ever after. Children love those phrases. I love them too, and I suspect you may love them too. As a mom, I've spent hours reading and listening to my children read their favorite stories, and now I write stories too. Here is one of them you may want to check out. The Proud Sunflower. It is the story of Princess Sanzu, the Sunflower Princess, a princess loved by all, but who got into trouble. Within the pages of The Proud Sunflower, you encounter what real beauty is. Your kid will love the beautiful story and powerful illustrations. The Proud Sunflower serves as a gentle reminder that we all need to stand on the shoulders of others to succeed. So, read this story with your little ones and allow it to illuminate the universal language of empathy, forgiveness, and personal growth. The Proud Sunflower is a top book of parenting, morals, and responsibility, and it's available on the Kindle store and on paperback formats. Excellent for beginner readers. Click in this episode show notes or in the description on YouTube to order yours. And check out my other storybooks to read with your kids, or gift a child a storybook if you do not have kids of your own. In a fast-paced world, ending the day feeling exhausted, unsure of what you actually accomplished may be a commonplace thing for many of us. And the problem is not always time, but something sneakier: energy. Yes, science tells us that the real issue could be energy. You can have the best planner in the world, perfectly blocked calendar, and a long to-do list. But if your energy is constantly depleted, none of those would work for you. So in today's episode, we are talking about energy management. Not motivation this time, not hustle, not pushing harder, but how to work with your biology instead of against it. And everything I share today is backed by research in neuroscience, psychology, and performance science. Let's take a look at the first part. Why does time management alone fail? Here is an uncomfortable truth. Your brain was not designed for sustained high-level output all day with no schedule for rest. Research in cognitive neuroscience shows that mental energy is finite and it fluctuates throughout the day. Your brain runs on glucose, on oxygen, on neurotransmitters like dopamine and norepinephrine or noradrenaline, depending on the part of the world you are listening from. When these are depleted, decision making focus and emotional regulation are on the decline. This is why you may sometimes procrastinate more in the afternoon. You make poor decisions when you are actually depleted energy-wise. This phenomenon is often referred to as decision fatigue in psychology or behavioral economics. So when you get productivity advice that says, just manage your time better, what that advice may be ignoring is the biological reality that energy, not hours, determines output. So next, let's talk about the 4 types of energy that we have. Researchers in performance psychology and occupational health identify 4 main types of energy that determines how productive and resilient you are. The first one is the physical energy, which is the foundation. That is what many of us know. This is the most obvious type of energy and sadly the most ignored. Studies in sleep science, including work popularized by Matthew Walker, show that poor sleep reduces attention, memory, and creativity. Even mild sleep deprivation, I've been there. Even mild sleep deprivation impairs executive function. So here are key physical energy drivers: sleep quality, nutrition timing, not just what you eat, but when you eat, movement. So what is the takeaway from this little section? Short bouts of movement, 5 to 10 minutes, increases blood flow to the brain and improve focus more effectively than caffeine. So if you're writing a book, for instance, and you get stuck in writer's block, pause for a minute, take a deep breath, and go outside for a walk for about 10 to 15 minutes. That gives you fresh perspective. When you return, you are refreshed and you can start all over again with better creativity. Energy type 2 is mental energy, our focus, our attention. Your brain works best in focus sprints, not marathon sessions. We live in a world of constant distractions and our attention span is very short. Some researchers compare our attention span to those of a goldfish. Some say the goldfish can stay focused for only 9 seconds. The average human, just 8.25 seconds. But it is not all gloom. Research also shows that most people can sustain deep focus for 60 to 90 minutes. You can do it. You can start small and build up as you go. After that, performance drops sharply. This aligns with ultradian rhythm research, the natural cycles of alertness and fatigue that your body follows throughout the day. So what is the key takeaway from this section? Plan your most important work during your peak mental window, not when it fits into your schedule. So understand your body and know when your energy is at its peak and time your deep work accordingly. Energy type 3 is emotional energy, the invisible drain. Emotional energy is often the silent productivity killer because you can see it. Chronic stress activates the sympathetic nervous system, which brings in the fight or flight hormone, flooding your body with cortisol. Now, cortisol is good in very small dose, but over time, if your body is constantly producing cortisol, it leads to brain fog, irritability, reduced creativity, and burnout. You don't want that. This is why burnout isn't just about workload, it's about unresolved emotional strain. The Maslach's burnout inventory identifies emotional exhaustion as the first and strongest predictor of burnout. And here are a few things that constitutes emotional energy grounded in psychology and stress science. So if you're experiencing any of these things I'm going to mention next, you need to resolve this first so that you can move forward. Unprocessed emotions. Emotional energy drops when you are carrying worry, guilt, anger, grief, resentment, or shame. These emotions don't disappear because you ignore them. They consume background mental bandwidths. This is why you can feel tired even when you did nothing that day. Emotional labor. This includes managing other people's emotions, staying strong for everyone else, constant caretaking, people pleasing, explaining, smoothing, accommodating. Emotional labor is real work and it saps you of energy. Another type of emotional energy is the inner critic or self-talk one. Negative internal dialogue drains emotional energy fast. Things like perfectionism, self-doubt, harsh criticism of yourself, fear of failure. Psychology shows that self-criticism increases stress hormones, while self-compassion supports emotional recovery and just calms you. Then there's another type of energy, emotional energy, the sense of control and boundaries. Low emotional energy often comes from overcommitting, lack of boundaries, feeling trapped or powerless, saying yes when you want to say no. So if you're constantly depleting your energy as a result of all these emotional energy drainers, keep an eye on this and resolve this. Emotional energy rises when autonomy increases. You need to be clear on what you want through extensive research. Permit yourself to pause and reassess situations. Be clear on what you want through extensive research. Then decide for you the best way forward. Leaving others to decide for you is like jumping on the road with no clear destination, hoping that the other drivers will help you get to your destination. That is scary to contemplate. Then there's the alignment and meaning. When your work feels disconnected from your values, motivation drops, emotional resistance rises, burnout risk increases. Research on meaning and motivation shows that purpose restores emotional energy, even during effortful work. So be clear on your purpose. Know what things are valuable to you. If you work against your purpose, things don't go well. So the key takeaway in this area is if you don't manage your emotional energy, no productivity system on earth will save you. Then the fourth type of energy is meaning energy, something that aligns with purpose and motivation. This is the most underestimated type, but the most powerful as well. Research show that people enter what is called a state of flow. And this happens when the task matters. When you feel that what you're doing is right, you have the energy to push you through. When the challenge matches your skill level, when you're working on something that you are an expert on, you're happy with that. If you're playing a game that you know how to play, you'll be happy with that. You have the energy to push you through. So always find something that matches your skill level. Then if you are fully engaged with what you're doing, you must really like what you're doing for you to be fully engaged with it. When your work feels meaningful, energy increases, focus improves, fatigue decreases. This is why alignment beats discipline. You need to find what lights you up. Another thing, when the why is clear, the energy follows. So if you're constantly feeling drained at the end of the day, remember that life is tough and there is no perfect cure. But you can take steps to reduce or in some cases eliminate exhaustion. Let's take a look at some actionable steps that can help you turn things around. Step number 1, design your day around energy, not around the clock. Instead of asking, what do I need to do today? Ask, when is my brain at its best today? Do creative work during peak energy. Save admin tasks for low energy windows. Stop forcing deep work when your brain is tired. Step number 2, work in energy cycles, not endless blocks. Use 60 to 90 minutes of focused work, followed by a 5 to 15 minutes of recovery. Rests. Recovering is not optional, it's how energy is restored. So if you use energy, you must have a strategy to restore energy. Number 3, build daily energy rituals. Science supports small, consistent resets. Morning light exposure, midday movements, short reflection breaks, evening wind down routines. This stabilizes your nervous system and protect long-term energy. Step number 4, protect your energy like a resource, because it is. Energy drains include overcommitting, perfectionism, constant context switching, emotional labor without recovery. Energy management sometimes means saying not now, not in this season, not at this cost. So why does energy management matter, especially for busy women and creatives? If you are a mom, a writer, an entrepreneur, your energy is pulled in multiple directions every day. You don't need more pressure. You don't need more hustle. You don't need more guilt. You need systems that respect your biology. Energy management is not about doing less. It's about doing what matters without burning yourself out in the process. So understand how you work. Understand what your body's biology is telling you. You must learn to say, I can't do this today. So here is the takeaway from this episode. Productivity is not about squeezing more out of yourself. It's about working in alignment with how your body and your brain functions. This week, don't try to overhaul everything. Just notice, when do you feel most energized? What drains you the fastest? What restores you consistently? Small awareness leads to big shifts. And if this episode has helped you to rethink productivity in a healthier way, share it with someone who is constantly running on empty. If you save your energy, you will get a lot more done. Thanks for tuning into the Minute Mastery Podcast. If you have found this episode helpful, please share it with someone who could use more time in their day. And remember to subscribe, check out the links in this episode's show notes, and leave us a review. Until next time, you are in control of your time and you've got this.